By the summer of 1914, Europe seemed poised on the brink of war. The peace that had prevailed for the past 30 years on the continent had long been held together by a thin web of diplomacy, trade agreements, and alliances. On June 28th, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, Archduke Francis Ferdinand, and his wife were assassinated in the streets of Sarajevo, in Bosnia. The Archduke's assassin, a man named Princip, was seeking to gain sovereignty for the tiny Balkan nation that had been swallowed up 6 years earlier by the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Over the next month, the diplomatic situation continued to unravel. The death of the Archduke was blamed on Serbia, a sovereign Balkan nation the Austro-Hungarians considered to be agitators. As the empire threatened military action, Russia, with her own designs in the Balkans, began to mobilize troops. Germany, an ally of Austria-Hungary, demanded the Russians to halt her mobilization, and 3 days later issued a proclamation of war against her. Because there existed an alliance between Russia and France, Germany demanded France to define her position in the developing situation. The French agreed to appease the Central Powers by pulling her own troops back 6 miles from the Franco-German border. But Germany, who'd long been looking for a reason to attack, saw this as the opportunity and began moving westwards. On August 2nd, the Kaiser's troops poured into Luxembourg, a tiny nation strategically located at the junction of Germany, France, and Belgium. An attack on France would have to be launched through Belgium, and when that country declared herself neutral and denied passage to the German forces, she too was invaded. Immediately upon the invasion of Belgium, England declared war on Germany. An assassin's bullet in the obscure nation of Sarajevo had set in motion events that would lead to the greatest conflict yet seen on the planet. 5 years later, nearly 10 million people would lie dead in a war that would engulf most of Europe and reach into both Africa and Asia. World War I had begun.